Welcome back to the Winning Brief Soundbites. I'm Mabel. In episode 1, we looked at why Belgium rewrote its criminal code after more than 150 years. Today, we go deeper into how the new code approaches punishment. By the end of this episode, you will understand the new sentencing philosophy, the penalties judges can now impose, and you will practice phrases you can use when discussing sentencing reform. Under the old Belgian criminal code, penalties were tied to the type of offense, felony, misdemeanor, or infraction. The new code replaces all of that with an 8-level sentencing structure, and it comes with a clear philosophy. Imprisonment is a last resort. What does that mean in practice? Judges must now define the objective of the sentence. They can impose a prison sentence only if they determine that community service or other measures cannot achieve that objective. This is a fundamental shift. The new code also introduces penalties that did not exist before. One of the most notable is the profit-based financial penalty. A court can now order an offender to pay up to 3 times the financial advantage they gained from the crime. So if someone made 50,000 euros through fraud, they can face not only the standard fine, but up to 150,000 euros on top. For companies, there is a new penalty called community service for legal entities. And before you picture the CEO in an orange vest picking up litter, no, it means the company itself must provide a service. For example, delivering IT support to a public body or cleaning up a polluted site. The maximum value of this service is 360,000 euros. Why does this matter for your practice? First, the shift toward imprisonment as a last resort reflects a broader European trend. If you advise clients across jurisdictions, you are likely seeing similar movements elsewhere. Understanding the Belgian model helps you draw comparisons and advise with greater precision. Second, the profit-based penalty changes the calculation for white-collar cases entirely. Clients need to understand that the financial exposure now goes well beyond the standard fine. The court looks at what you gained and it multiplies it. And third, the new code draws a clear distinction between aggravating constituents and aggravating factors. Here's the difference. Imagine a case of fraud at level 3. If the fraud was committed as part of an organized criminal network, that is an aggravating constituent. It pushes the offense up to level 4 entirely. But if the fraud was committed by someone who abused a position of professional trust, that is an aggravating factor. The offense stays at level 3, but the judge imposes a harsher penalty within that level. Same crime, very different legal consequences. This is not just a technical detail, it determines how you build a defense. Now, let's practice some of the phrases from today's episode. 1. Imprisonment is a last resort. Last resort means the final option, used only when everything else has failed. It is one of the most common phrases in legal policy debate. 2. The financial exposure now goes well beyond the standard fine. Goes well beyond tells your audience the scope is significantly larger than expected. It is a precise and professional way to flag escalation. 3. The court looks at what you gained and multiplies it. Short, punchy, and effective. This kind of sentence works well in client advice because it makes a complex rule immediately concrete. 4. This is not just a technical detail. Use this when you want to signal that something your audience might overlook already actually has serious practical consequences. 5. It determines how you build a defense. Build a defense is a core collocation in legal English. The verb build conveys strategy and deliberate construction. Time to practice. Let's repeat after me. Imprisonment is a last resort. The financial exposure goes well beyond the standard fine. The court looks at what you gained and multiplies it. This is not just a technical detail. It determines how you build a defense. Well done. In part 3, we look at corporate criminal liability, how the new code treats companies as defendants, and what that means for the lawyers who advise them. Until next time, keep practicing. New sentencing structure, new penalties, new strategy. If your legal team needs to discuss these changes clearly in English, that is exactly what I help with. You can find my work and book a conversation at thewinningbrief.eu.